Hi there guys, my name is Jacob and welcome back to the channel. Now recently I shared with you guys that Octopus Energy have reduced their rates that they pay for energy exported to the grid. Now for someone like myself and quite a lot of my viewers that watch this channel, I'm someone who generates a lot of energy from the solar panels that I have, and it's quite a lot more than I need. So I end up exporting a lot of energy to the grid, actually a lot more than I use in the house or even to charge the EV. And of course, this means it's impacted me quite a lot by those rates reducing. Now I'm on Octopus Outgoing for my export tariff. So that means I was on 15 pence per kilowatt hour. Now it's dropped to 12 pence per kilowatt hour. So that is a 20% drop in what they are paying me for the energy that I'm sending to the grid. Now, don't get me wrong, 12 pence is still quite a fair rate. But since that video, I've been looking at ways that I can increase that rate. And I've come up with a number of ways. So I guess the first one would be just to simply change energy provider, because there are a couple of competitor tariffs that do exceed 12 pence per kilowatt hour. But to be quite honest, I'm happy with Octopus and I don't really want to change energy provider right now. So that one I've kind of put to the side for now. The second option I came up with would be to change the tariff that I'm using with Octopus. And the one that I think would best fit my needs would be the intelligent Octopus Flux tariff. And that is a tariff that's quite unique because you basically hand over the reins of your energy system to Octopus, and you basically trust them and their system that they have to import and export energy from your battery and from your solar panels when they see fit. So when the grid is greenest, they will charge your battery for you. And when the grid really needs energy, it will export your battery for you. But of course, that means you have no control over your system. And when you're someone like me who has an EV to charge, that can be complicated a little bit, and it can also be quite costly. If I was to move on to that tariff, it would roughly cost me about 3 times as much as it does now to charge my EV. Now, on the face of it, that sounds pretty expensive and probably not worthwhile. But as I mentioned previously, because I export so much solar energy to the grid, quite a lot more than I actually use, the figures would actually work out quite favourable. So as I say, even though it would cost me a lot more to charge the EV, I could still make it work because the rate that they give you for sending energy to the grid on that tariff is a lot higher than 12 pence. I think it's more around 22 pence. And they actually give you a peak rate as well between 4 and 7, which is, I think, around maybe 28 pence. So significantly higher than that 12 pence that I'm currently getting paid. So I guess Octopus Intelligent Flux is the second option. Third option is the one that has the kind of juiciest numbers, and that's the one I'm going to share with you now. Third option is not change energy provider, not changing the tariff that I'm on, but signing up to a kind of something on the side that links in perfectly with what I'm already doing, and that is Axle Energy. Now, if you've never heard of Axle, I have left a link in the description box so you can kind of do your own research and try it out for yourself. Read their webpage and they'll probably explain it better than I will. However, a week ago, signed up to Axle Energy. Now this, as I said, this is not changing your energy provider. This is just something that you sign up as, something that complements what you're already on. And basically the way it works is very similar to Intelligent Flux. However, you don't hand over 24/7 control to Axle Energy. What happens is you give them permission to access your battery when they need the energy. And they give you a heads up around 24 hours prior to them wanting that energy. They send you an email and they will request that they are going to access your battery and export the battery for probably approximately an hour or 2 on any given day. And for that privilege, they pay a whopping £1 per kilowatt hour that you send to the grid in that timescale that they've specified. Now, as I say, I signed up to this a week ago and I was going to share it with you then, but to be quite honest, I didn't want to share it without me having gone through one of their sessions and seeing if it actually worked out well. And amazingly enough, one of those events has happened. It was 2 or 3 days ago. Basically, they sent me an email telling me that between 4:30 and 5:30, they were going to export my battery and I would be paid £1 per kilowatt hour. So that time and date came, and amazingly enough, I didn't have to do anything to the settings for my GivEnergy battery and inverter. As they said, they took control of the battery, they exported it at full power for an hour, and they recently sent me an email telling me that I'm going to be paid £3.42 for sending what I guess would have been 3.4 kilowatt hours to the grid in that hour. Now, couple that with the 12 pence that I'm getting from Octopus as well, because again, they link in very nicely together. I'm getting nearly £4 for sending 3.4 kilowatt hours to the grid in 1 hour. And this is a bit of a game changer, I've got to say. So as I said, this company is called Solax Energy. Please check out the link in the description box, because if you do, if you sign up, you'll get £25 instantly added to your Solax Energy account. And I'll get that too. And you can withdraw that to your bank account straight away. So even if you don't want to participate in any of their events, you can just take the £25 and be happy that you're £25 up. So as I say, check out the link in the description box. It's well worth trying. So as I say, I have tried Solax Energy and I'm going to continue with this going forward, because I've worked out, well, basically what on their website it says that they run 4 to 6 of these events per month. So if I was to earn sort of £3.40 per event, then that's going to roughly equal, let's say, £15 a month that I can make on the side with Solax Energy. Couple that with the money that I make from exporting energy with Octopus Energy, and that kind of extra £15, if it's consistent, will basically make up the shortfall of what I'm not getting from Octopus now they've reduced their rates. So in essence now, going forward, I'm in the same position that I was in previously when the rates were at 15 pence per kilowatt hour. So I'm quite happy with that. And amazingly, with Solax Energy, they actually guarantee that they pay you £10 a month, regardless of how many sessions they run in the month. So if they run one session and I only make £3.40, at the end of the month, they top that up to £10. I don't know how they make that work financially for themselves, but that is something that they are currently stipulating. They guarantee £10 a month. So to me, that seems well worth signing up for. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, check out that link in the description box. Now, I did see an interview with, I think it's the guy who runs Solax Energy the other day, and he was actually saying that obviously this kind of scheme works very well in the winter time, because the grid needs more energy in the winter than it does in the summer from people like myself. However, going forward, as we go into spring and summer now, they're actually going to try running something where they pay you to actually take energy from the grid. So rather than just give energy to the grid and get paid for it, they're actually going to run a scheme where when the grid has too much energy, they will pay you to take that energy. So whether that is charging the battery or maybe even charging my car, they may pay me to do that as the months go on this year. So that's going to be something really cool to look out for. And again, if that does happen, I will share that with you guys. But right then, guys, let me know down in the comments what you think of something like Solax Energy, and let me know whether you're going to consider signing up to it. As I mentioned, this isn't something that you need to switch your energy provider to use. It's something that complements your current energy provider. It's hassle-free to sign up. It took me about 5 minutes to complete the sign up and give them the permissions they need to access my battery and inverter. So it's not a complicated process. And as I said, at the end of the process, you get £25 immediately credited to your Solax Energy account, which you can just withdraw straight away. There is no strings attached to it. So, you know, I think it's well worth checking out. Let me know in the comments if you're going to, and let me know if you enjoyed this kind of video, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you guys in the next one.